Guys, Evans here, CNU FIT, where fitness is a lifestyle. Super excited. I'm wearing my AM CNU FIT shirt. And today I want to talk a little about is what is this weight change? You know, if you're anything like me, especially when you start watching your nutrition, you start or an exercise, you get really excited about, your goal, So if your goal is to lose 10 pounds, you jump on that scale and every day your hope is that that scale fluctuates. So I just want to talk about what could that weight change be? What is it probably? Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, even when you're doing the same thing. So let's talk about first what makes up all of our weight. So here we talk at CNU FIT about lean mass or lean body weight really. So we just say lean mass to keep it simple, and fat mass, or just fat. So lean mass and fat equals total body weight. That's a W. So when I jump on the scale, like today I was on the scale, I was at 199, and I was like, what? And it was lean mass and it was fat mass. So what is fat? That's that squishy stuff that most of us want to get rid of, but you don't want to get rid of all of it because fat does coat your hand and all this kind of cool stuff, right? So we want a little bit of fat, but we don't want our thighs to look like this little drawing, or our stomach. So what's lean mass? Lean mass is your blood, your bones, connective tissue. It's muscles. It's water, hair, nails, even the artificial ones, still in your lean mass. So basically everything that's not fat is lean mass. And we know that our blood volume, it's not going to really change a whole lot throughout the course of the day. So if our weight shifted, it's probably not because we have more blood. Now, so let's take blood out. And I know some people think that they're big bones, and I don't want to get into this conversation today, but we know exercise does increase bone density. So a little tip that has nothing to do with weight change is that the more resistance to training you do, the less at risk you are for osteoporosis and osteopenia, which is the thinning of your bones. But even that thickness of the bone doesn't make the size of, like, say, your ulna or your humerus bone get bigger. It thickens on the inside, kind of like the cartilage area and where the bone marrow is. It thickens that way. It doesn't get a bigger bone, but it does add to potential weight. But for most of us, with maybe 5 to 10 pounds of bones, so not a whole lot of bone change is going to be on there. I don't think we're going to change the amount of connective tissue in weight as much. When you think about connective tissue, if you think about chicken breast, when you go to the store, and it has the skin on it, and when you peel that skin back, that connective tissue, that's what it's like. Is that like clear, sometimes white, silky thing? It weighs pretty much nothing. So that's not going to change even if we have increased levels of fascia, connective tissue, or cartilage, or ligaments. You're not going to get more ligaments, but that's not going to be an issue. No matter what you do with your hair, it's probably not going to gain about a pound or two overnight, unless you get a new do with some extensions in there. And your nails are probably not going to get heavier no matter what you do to them. So that's not going to change. So really, what we're looking at is a fluctuation of muscle potentially and water. I wish I kept this beautiful picture up that Caitlin, now that I'm thinking about this, had drew. But basically, muscle tissue grows extremely slow. Now, it grows the fastest for young people, so I'll define young, teens to early 20s, young. So if you're under 30 and you're new to exercise. Now, if you're new to exercise, period, you can kind of gain. That's exercise in fitness. That's exercise. That's a happy exercise. But if you're very new to fitness, then you can gain lean mass or muscle tissue fairly fast. And when I say fast, we're looking at maybe I've seen people gain 8 pounds of lean mass in about a month. But it's not a progressive increase. What happens is that you have a small amount, and your body's like, woo, we just tore it down. You're going to be sore a lot that month. But if you rest and eat properly, then and supplement well, you'll recover and you gain that muscle. But if someone's been exercising longer than a couple of months, they're not going to see a lot of lean mass gain. Typically, it kind of stays the same over time. And if you're deliberate and really trying to build lean mass, then it develops slowly. So this is how it works. Your muscles look like these strands like this. And for your muscles to grow, you have to break up these strands, and then you eat enough protein, and your body kind of repairs those strands with a little bit more tissue. And as that tissue overlays, over time, then you have more what we call hypertrophy or growth of muscles. But besides that, muscles is not going to change a whole lot, even in a week or two. Now, if we undereat, your muscles can change fairly quick because your body does not store protein. So proteins break down to something called amino acids, and your body doesn't store amino acids. Now, it'll store fat and it'll store carbs as glycogen, but it won't store protein. So if you don't eat enough protein, then your body just says, hey, we'll just take from muscles, because the animal protein that we eat is really animal muscles. Not to gross people out, but that's what it is. So if we don't eat it, our body says, I need it every single day. So it'll just take it from yourself. So if you're under eating, some of the weight loss could be a little bit of muscles and it could be a little bit of fat. But a lot of times that fluctuation from day to day is a little bit of water. But it's going to be one of these three things. So let's talk about the fat first, because that's the objective, right? So if we jumped on the scale and it went up or went down, did I gain fat, did I lose fat? 1 pound of fat is about 3,500 calories. So I have to have 3,500 extra calories in my diet to store 1 pound of fat. But the reality is that I need more than 3,500 calories. Now, this video is not designed to say, yes, I can eat like crazy tomorrow because I'm not going to store all this fat. But here's the deal. Fat, to break down fat, it takes calories to do everything in your body. So on average, about 15% of the calories that I eat is used to break down that fat. So when I eat fat, about 15% of it is actually converted. I didn't bring my calculator to do the math, but here we go. I'll do the math for you. I guess I did go to elementary school, so I could do public math. So 5, 2, 15, 17, and then this is all 3,500 here. This 5 goes over here. So I'd have to eat really 3,675 calories in order to get just to gain 1 pound of fat. Did I mess up somewhere? Oh.
I just did it on my phone for you.
Yeah, but if you add this to 3,500, oh, excuse me, I did mess up in my math. Don't trust. Oh, it's 350. I'm sorry. This should be like this here. There we go. Let's do it times 1.1 to see how much excess I need to eat, and that adds up to 4,025 calories. So don't trust public math. It's just, but it's 4,000 calories that you have to eat in excess just to gain 1 pound of fat. So if you jump on the scale tomorrow and you're up 1 pound, don't freak out. It's probably not all fat unless you went in. Meaning you ate your current meal plan, you did the regular amount of activity that you normally do, and you added about 4,000 plus calories in your diet. Then it's probable that you're going to gain about 1 pound of fat. Typically what happens is, based on the time I eat, it can be just the volume. So this is my mouth, I go through my esophagus. From my esophagus, I go into my stomach. From my stomach, I go into my small intestines. And then from my small intestines, I go into my large intestines, right? This goes this way, and then empties out. If I eat food, the volume of food can be anywhere in this process here, and that weighs. So if I can eat, let's say, some foods that are a little lighter, and the scale looks a little lighter, even though the calories are different, just by the volume of food that I have in my system. It could be water retention. Typically, if I eat a little bit more, my body's going to retain a little bit more water, so it could be water retention. If I didn't sleep too well, I can retain water. You know, if I drank water late at night, it could be water. So we don't like trust the scale day to day. You know, you wake up some days, some days I'm following the exact same meal plan. I wake up, I'm like earlier this week, I woke up, I was 197. Made no changes, literally ate the exact same food, and then I woke up today and I was 199. You know, it's like, what happened? Well, what happened was, Evans, did you eat all the foods at the exact same time? Well, honestly, my life doesn't give me that flexibility. I have appointments. By now, I should have ate my morning snack, and I didn't get to it yet. So I'm not eating all my food at the same time. So this gastric emptying or my bowel movements or food shifting throughout my body is not all moving at the exact same time. So throughout the course of the day, my weight's going to fluctuate 3 to 4 pounds. It's totally normal, but most of the times it winds up being water weight. It's definitely not going to be muscle, you know, because you can't gain muscle that fast. And it's probably not going to be fat unless I'm overeating with it. Very similar though, I jump on the scale, I lose 2 pounds tomorrow, I probably didn't lose 2 pounds of fat either. So here's the deal. I was talking to somebody earlier and it really inspired this. You know, we need to burn 3,500 calories of fat calories to lose a pound of fat. Your body doesn't burn calories in fat only. It burns carbs first, it'll burn fat, and it'll burn protein. I know this is a little longer video, but I think if we understand a little bit of how your body works, I think it will help us become successful. So 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. 1 gram of fat, though, is 9 calories. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. So it's easier to burn protein and carbs than it is to burn fat. So your body's not just going to go, oh, we started exercising? What? Let's just all burn fat. No, it's going to burn some of the carbs that you store. It's going to burn some of the protein. It's going to burn some of the fat. And no one has come up with a scientific proof on how much of what. So from day to day, we can't go, well, I burned, you know, I love it. People go, oh, I just got off the machine. I burned 800 calories. But you don't know. You burned some of it was carbs, some of it was fat, some was protein. You don't know how much of that was of each of those things. You know, because there's no way to tell. That's very, very individual on a biochemical level. So there's no way to tell that, but you have to burn 3,500 calories of fat calories just to lose a pound of fat. You know, and since you're burning a little bit of this, you probably want to burning somewhere around 5,500 calories in that day to lose 1 pound of fat in that day. So I say all this to say, don't stress out. I think the scale helps me do, and I'm one of those people, I get up, I weigh myself after I empty my bladder. If I got a number 2, I weigh myself again just to kind of think I lost maybe a pound. I thought, man, I put a pound down. It's always like 0.2 to 0.4 pounds. That doesn't really help me a lot psychologically. And then when I get home, before I go to bed, I jump on the scale right before I go to bed. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I jump on the scale in the middle of the night. It's just there. It's kind of like a cool toy. It's like for a lot of people, Facebook. I wake up and I trust Facebook. I check the scale. But I can't freak out every day based on the scale numbers. What I do need to do is look at scale numbers over time. So that's what really matters in this weight change. You won't know the weight change until you do your body fat. You know, but the scale numbers matter over time, meaning if I'm trending up, then that's a problem. And if I'm trending down, that may be a great thing. You know, now what's going to tell me the truth is when I do my body fat. And I'll just end the video with this concept, is body fat percentages look different on everyone. And at CNU FIT here, and I know like some people, you know, I shot out a video, it only went to the people in our CNU FIT family, and I said 2017 is going to be your change. And a lot of the changes, staff changes over the last year, technology changes, because we just want to be the best at what we do. You know, we don't want to deceive. We don't want to, you know, have people think, oh man, I'm doing really good, and then I'm not. You know, it's kind of, we're constantly learning, and as we learn, we're going to make those adjustments to produce a better and better product in the marketplace. And that's the reason why we like partnering with universities and companies that are like cutting edge technology. And one of them is ultrasound technology. We use ultrasound to do body fat. Now, just in this room, we're in our consultation room, I can do the Navy and the Army method, which is I can tape myself with this. And based on my waist and my hips, I can measure my tape measurements and give you an estimated body fat. We have calipers, so I can pinch and give you an estimated body fat. We have the electric impedance. This one you hold out, and I can give you estimated body fat. Just in this one room, it's crazy in here. We have a Tanita. You see these things are hidden away on purpose, right? We have the Tanita scale, and that can give me an estimated body fat. And we have, just in this one room, it's crazy. We have the Sculpt, and that can give me an estimated body fat. And I have to pay for all these things, by the way. And then we have our ultrasound, that can give me an estimated body fat. And then I like to believe my eyes are calibrated, so I can just look at you and estimate your body fat. Don't look at me funny in public. It's just, over time. So with all these different resources, and I've done studies where I brought 30, 50 people in, I measured them with all of them, and all of them read different. The goal is I'm trending up and I'm trending down. Now what I've learned through, there's something called DEXA scan and bod pods, and we don't have the financial capability to get one of those. And I don't think it serves a purpose, for us. We're not in a university setting where we're trying to show people the adipose tissue that's surrounded by their organs and things like that. But, fat tissue around your organs. But we found that for us, the ultrasound and telemetrics is like cutting edge. And we've been using them for several years. We've kind of been phasing it in a little bit at a time. And depending on who the staff was at the time and what their comfort level with the technology determined if the client used that technology or not. But we know if I caliper myself right now, with this here, I'm going to come in under 10%. But when I do the ultrasound, I come in at 15%, or 14.7 the last time. But looking at images, your average, if I'm 200 pounds and I'm 10% body fat, that means I only have 20 pounds of fat on my entire body. Cool. So I only have 20 pounds of fat on my body, and that could be anything from the fat around my skin, around my hands, on my face, my buttocks, my legs, my thighs. If I'm at such a low level of fat, I'm fairly lean. My abs are showing and everything else. But the reality is that I probably have a little bit more than that on my body at this point. So we use the ultrasound because it's a superior technology. And when I went initially, I went from 8%, and I did the ultrasound, I came in at around 15%. My heart was broken. I was like, dude, I'm not. And I rejected it. And they, we have now the scientific papers. They're like, dude, this is a DEXA scan, and this is what the fat around your organs, and we can show you the literature and the scientific data. And I had them send it to me, because I'm just that personality. I'm like, prove to me I'm fatter than I thought I was. And they did, and that's why we have those copies. And we were like, I prefer someone gets the most honest reading and then makes the best decisions from it versus I give them like a false reading through all these different things that can fluctuate. Because the biggest thing is as we age, our skin gets thinner, so calipers become less and less effective. Which is huge, and depends on how good that person is on calipering. Or lastly, regardless of your age, the calipering won't get the fat that you can't pinch. But we all know, and you can just Google visceral fat or deep adipose tissue, that there's layers of fat that you cannot measure. There's fat around our elbow that we're not going to measure, and everything's an estimation. So I just wanted to talk a little about that because I know for me, a lot of people we work with like, man, I'm down 3 pounds on the scale, and it's like, okay, cool, I'm happy for you, but we know that it probably wasn't 3 pounds of fat, typically in 1 week, unless you are like 300 pounds. If not, then that's too fast a fat loss, and you're going to swing back. So hopefully it's added value to you guys. Again, we're super excited, but we're committed to continue to give you the best content that we know of. Therefore, you guys can have optimal health long term.